Hello, my little yarnivores and spiderettes. Fiber Spider back again with another tutorial just for you. And today I'm going to show you how to do the Tunisian crochet stitch for the honeycomb stitch. This is absolutely gorgeous, and it has a lovely texture to it. And one of the great things is that, can you see how flat this lays? I'm in love. Absolutely in love. Typically, the Tunisian stitch, the regular Tunisian stitch, it has a really nasty tendency of curling. This, it's like a pancake. It's awesome. And it's really, really simple. It's just a couple row repeat, very easy. And I know it's been a while since I've done any Tunisian, but I couldn't stay away forever. And so for this piece, I used, this was actually Red Heart Super Saver, and, you know, came out really great, I think. And I used a size L crochet hook, a Tunisian hook. Now, this is one of my double-ended ones, although you don't need a double-ended crow hook. You could just use, a regular Tunisian hook, no problem. The bigger the better, really, because that also helps with it not doing the curl. And this is really thick, and it's very squishy, got a lovely texture, love it. And this is what the back looks like, just to give you an idea. But this is awesome. This would make a great scarf, a dishcloth, scrubby type deal. The texture is lovely. And, well, without further ado, let's get started. All right. Alrighty, so for this example, I'm going to be using the Red Heart Ombre, just so that you know what it is that I'm using. And so we're going to start right in by doing our initial chains. And you're going to need a chain of multiple of 2 chains, I believe it is. Yep, multiple of 2 chains. And so we're going to start right in. So, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. So just to give you a nice idea as to what we're going to do. So we're going to start with our, very basic sort of Tunisian stitching. Nothing schmancy to begin with, okay? So going into the second chain from the hook, so not this one here, but the next one over. Now you could go into the top loop of the V, or you could also go into the back bump, which will give you a cleaner edge. Really whichever works better for you. So going in to the bottom bumps is what I'm going to be doing in this case. Okay, no big deal. So we've got 3 loops on there. We should end up with 10 by the end of the row. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and last but not least, 10. All right, so we have our loops all on the hook here. And then we're going to do the return pass. And that's going to be, very standard, just like you would do normally for any regular Tunisian stitching. So to begin the return pass, it's going to be pulling through 1 loop, and then pull through 2, and then pull through 2, and pull through 2, through 2, all the way to the end, through 2, through 2, through 2, through 2. This hook is a little bit tricky because it's sort of wonky, but I make do. And through 2 at the very end. So that is the beginning of what we need to do. And like I said, it's very standard. Now, I do have other Tunisian tutorials on how to do this. If I went a little too fast, I'll put links for them in the description down below, you know, in case if you need a refresher. All right, so we're going to get right on into the next row. Alrighty, so what we're going to do is we're going to alternate stitches of the regular Tunisian simple stitch, or the Tunisian stitch. We're going to alternate those with purl stitches. So what we're going to start with is we're going to start with a regular Tunisian simple stitch. So going underneath the bar, going to pull up a loop. Very simple. Then we're going to do a purl stitch. So the purl stitch is you're going to bring the yarn, instead of at the back, it's going to be in front of the hook, okay? And then going underneath the bar, then bringing the yarn in front like that, then pull a loop through, like so. So you have this loop of yarn going across the bar. See, this is at the bar, and over here we have a loop of yarn going across that bar right here. Okay, so then we just did a purl, so now we need to do another simple stitch. So just going with the yarn at the back, going underneath the bar, pull the yarn through, then another purl stitch. So yarn to the front of the hook, and you can hold it, it makes it a little bit easier, okay? And put your hook through, then the yarn to the back, and then pull your yarn through that loop, okay? Then a simple stitch, so going underneath that next bar, pull through, then another purl. So the yarn has to go in the front, insert the hook into the next bar, then yarn to the back again, and then pull the yarn through. Now, it may seem a little tedious and fiddly, but believe you me, it gets a lot easier with practice. So then going for another simple stitch underneath the next bar, pull the yarn through, then yarn to the front, go through the next bar, and then yarn to the back, and pull the yarn through. And then when you reach the very end, as I have now, be sure to insert your hook through both loops at the very end, and it makes a much neater edge, okay? And then just pull through those loops at the end there. And that's the end of the row. All right, and then you're going to do the return pass in the exact same normal, well, quote-unquote normal fashion. So you would be pulling through one loop, and then pull through two loops, through two loops, through two, through two, through two, through two, through two, through two, and through two. All right. Now, you may not see the pattern right away, but it will come to life, believe you me. All right, so we're going to keep going. Alrighty, so for the next row, we need to do alternates of what we did previously. Now on the previous row, we started with a simple stitch, and the second stitch we did a purl. Now, like I said, if you look closely, you can see that we have our straight bar, and right underneath it, another straight bar. Okay? Now the next one over, it's a bar, but underneath it, there's that little purl bump. So because you have a purl bump over here, and a straight bar over here, means we need a purl bump on this first stitch right here. Okay? So to do that, going to have the yarn in the front, okay, and then going into this first bar right here, then yarn to the back, and pull the yarn through that loop, like so. Then the next one, since we have that purl bump, we need to do a regular simple stitch. So pull through, and then as you can see here, we have our stitches bar over the bar, so we need to do a purl. So the yarn needs to be in front of the hook, go underneath that bar, yarn to the back again, and pull through like so. Next stitch is a regular simple stitch with the yarn at the back, pulling through, and then yarn to the front, and then pull through. Okay, yarn at the back so we can do a simple stitch. It's just a back and forth and back and forth. Lots and lots and lots of repetition. Okay, and then a simple stitch at the very end. Okay, and then we've reached the end once more. So again, we want to go through, see, this is the very last bar, and we want to go through both loops at the end. And it helps if you turn the piece a little bit so you can see, yes, I'm going underneath both bars, like so. Okay, and you pull your yarn through those. And it creates a really nice, neat edge. You know, especially if you want to join this piece to another piece, it makes it a lot neater, believe you me. So as you can see, it's starting to take shape. Very beautifully, I might add. All right, so then the return pass, it's the same as always. So going through just one loop, and then go through two, through two, through two, through two, and two, and two, 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 and two. Ta-da! And it's easy as that. All right, and I'm going to keep going on for a little bit, and then I'm going to show you the bind off. All right. Alrighty, so starting right in, you can see we have a purl bump right there, and we have our two bars like so. So the thing is, the first one, this first stitch, going to need to do a regular simple stitch. So with the yarn at the back, just go right in, pull the yarn through, then yarn needs to be at the front, insert underneath the bar, have the yarn at the back now, and pull through, regular simple stitch, yarn at the front for a purl stitch. Also, sometimes what it does help actually if you can hold the yarn in place so that it's less fiddly while you're trying to grab it and pull it through, and then it will snug up as you go on, trust me. So going through the next one with a simple stitch, and then yarn to the front so we can go in for a purl. And then, like I said, it does help if you hold it with your thumb and pull through, and then when you let go, you can cinch it up a little bit. But you don't want to be too tight about it. Just, it helps. Okay, so the next one is a regular simple stitch. Going right in. Yarn to the front for a purl. And back, holding the yarn with my thumb. And cinchy cinch. Okay. And then, last but not least, going to go right in to the last here by turning the piece a little bit. It does help. See, all these little V's on the side here? That's because we went through both loops. Now you could go, you could go through just one, but this makes it a lot neater on the edge, is what I've found. All right, like so, and then pulling through one initially, then pull through two, pull through two, through two, through two, 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 and shaboom. Okay, and we have reached the end of yet another row, and you can see the texture really coming to life. Absolutely gorgeous. Also, another thing, I would not recommend using a highly variegated yarn with short colorways and so forth, because you would really lose the texture. The texture of the pattern would be lost in the colors. So that is something that I would recommend personally. Otherwise, you would lose a lot of the beautiful detail that you're creating. Alrighty, so we're going to. I think we're gonna do a bind off now. All right. So now to do the bind off, really simple. You're gonna follow suit, doing alternates. Okay, as you're doing the bind off. Okay, so now this first one was a regular simple stitch, right? So we're going to start by doing a purl. Okay, so with the yarn over in front of the hook, going to insert the hook, then to the front again, well, to the back, excusez-moi, and going to pull through not just one loop, but we're going to pull through both loops. Okay, and then we need to do a simple stitch. All right, so going right in there with the yarn at the back, pull through, and pull through both of those. Okay, then yarn in the front, insert the hook, yarn at the back now, and pull through both. Okay, then we need a simple stitch, so pulling through and through that one. I think I initially messed up one of them initially. Excuse me, I'm sorry. What you're doing is you're pulling through both loops, almost like a slip stitch. So we need to have the yarn at the front, and then pull through both loops, like so. And you don't want to have it too terribly tight. You don't want it to be all scrunched. You want to let it breathe a little bit. So pulling through, and then through, and then yarn in the front, holding that yarn sometimes helps, and pull through both loops. There we go. And then another simple stitch bind off, so through and through, and then through again, last but not least, those 2 loops at the end, pull through, and through. And then you would cut your yarn, pull out the tail, and you got it. Absolutely gorgeous stitch. Really simple repeat. You know, it's just back and forth with a slight variation of doing the regular simple Tunisian stitch and purl stitches, just alternating back and forth. Okay? And, you know, as long as you keep track of where your bars are, you know, the bar versus the purl bump, you'll know at the beginning of each row which one you need to start with. Okay? And it's as easy as that. You know, and I really hope that you enjoyed this tutorial because this is a really fun, beautiful stitch that you can experiment with, and I hope you do. So listen, my dears, if you like the video, please hit the little thumbs up button down below. Your support means ever so much to me, as always. And if you have any questions, comments, what have you, please do so in the comment section down below. I love hearing from you. And if you haven't hit the subscribe button already, please do so as well, because I try to post videos as often as I can, and that way you'll be in the know. So listen, until next time, I want you all to stay inspired, stay caffeinated, and above all, stay stitching. I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye for now.